Hi everyone and welcome to the third video in this series. I've already made a video about OneNote on the tab S6 and Squid. This time I'm going to show you what Lecturenotes is really like in this in-depth review. Let's go. Category is note-taking experience. And first I've got to take a look at the writing experience. Let me write the usual sentence here. The quick, I can already say it is pretty receptive and captures my handwriting well. Let me just zoom in. Okay, brown. Jump. Is it jumped or jumps? Jumps actually over the lazy dog. And as you can see, it's actually a bit grainy, but I was in contact with the customer support and they told me that there were some settings here and there that you could like modify and improve. But at the same time you can see that if you zoom really far in, you can see that we have this sort of graded lines that are not 100% straight. That's just something I noticed that Lecturenotes does worse than OneNote and Squid. The sort of rendering here, it's not that smooth. The next category is pen types. So when it comes to pen types, we have a lot of pen types to choose from in Lecturenotes. You can enable and disable this tray of different colors, and the weird thing with Lecturenotes is that to make a highlighter, well, there are no kind of inbuilt highlighters, so you have to go to the custom pencil settings and choose a pencil, let's say the number 12, and in order to make it a highlighter you have to just increase the line width and decrease the opacity. And now we have another highlighter. So let me just tell them that the writing experience is great, but the pen types is almost great, I would say. You know why? Because as I will show you in a future video, Incredible actually has multiple pens, like you have fountain pen, calligraphy pen, ballpoint pen. You can adjust that wetness, which that just gives you a lot more freedom when in your note-taking that you don't really have here. You can adjust thickness, you have all of these at the tray, and I love that you have that many colors to choose from. And yeah, endless possibilities, but only one pen type, so that's the disadvantage with this app. So I'll give the writing experience a great rating. Pen types almost awesome, as I said. Comes to favorite pens, I'll actually give them an awesome rating there because you have all of these on this tray. As I've already said, changing color is incredibly easy. You just change these on the tray, or you can also access your different colored pens here. You have the black, red, green, blue already built in. Taking notes and images works awesomely. It doesn't shift around while you move on it. And the highlighter works great. You just have to make it, but that's fine. It's really easy to access it here, so that's the important thing. Scrolling and zooming is super convenient. You can use one finger, you can use two. So I would say just as good as it is in OneNote. So there, they've earned an awesome rating. The S Pen button, I'll actually give them a great rating and not an awesome rating straight away because there's room for improvement. For example, if I want to erase this and I hold in the S Pen button, it doesn't erase. You have to first like do this and then No, actually not. When I hold the button, nothing happens. You have to actually lift your finger, and only then. Yeah, so you have to push it while it's hovering, and only then it works. So, yeah, there's room for improvement there. May very well be that you just had to tweak a couple of settings, but they could improve on that. The eraser works great. You have all of these thicknesses to choose from, but unfortunately it doesn't have a stroke eraser. It just has this regular eraser. So I'll give them a great rating there. Oh, whoops. Selection tool. When it comes to the selection tool, it works great. You have a freehand option, but also a rectangle option. And if we choose the freehand here, you can choose to choose the scissor icon to move it around with the pen, actually, yes. And you can rotate it and resize it, even remove it completely. And to paste it in, you only have to choose paste from clipboard, and here we have it again. We can use the paste function multiple times. So here we have it too, which is useful if you like do an exercise or something and need to make multiple copies. So the selection tool works awesome. Backgrounds. When it comes to backgrounds, Lecturenotes. What just happened? Okay, yeah, when it comes to backgrounds, Lecturenotes does a fairly good job. You can choose from checkered, image, ruled, custom, and okay, when it comes to background, Lecturenotes also does a great job. You can choose checkered, ruled, or custom image. Let's say we choose the checkered one, and then we can adjust the pattern size. Let's try to make it pretty big, and yeah, it's pretty big, so like let's draw a circle there, and then go back to the notebook settings and make it smaller, and maybe try to change the paper color to, I don't know, green. And none of the apps actually none of the other apps has the option to actually customize the paper color like on a scale, on a color wheel or whatever it's called. So I'll give them an awesome rating there. Well, it doesn't have all of these different, like, let's say note writing apps like writing piano notes, but you can just import, use the custom function and do it that way. Let's see, choose your own format screen ratio. So we're going to do formats and screen ratios. You go here, and here it says width and height. I'm not sure if you can adjust that. Okay, I gotta Google this. Lecturenotes, how to adjust format. So I'm asking Google because in Squid it's pretty convenient and like user-friendly when it comes to adjusting your format. You just choose A4, A3. Yeah, so I'll try to load this anatomy textbook. Let's see, create and open. File contains 540 pages, import all pages, let's see. So, it's actually fairly quick. Yes, and here you can see that it's easy to annotate something cool, blah, blah, and then you can highlight it. So it interacts really well with PDFs, the Lecturenotes app. So that's great. 5 stars rating from me. And when it comes to layers, this is the only app that I know of them that actually has a layers function, which sometimes makes it a bit more difficult because you can actually erase parts of an image. But I mean, you could also say that that's a positive thing. It gives you more freedom when it comes to customizing your notes. So I'll actually give them an awesome rating there. When it comes to folders, subcategories, and searching, Lecturenotes does a great job, as opposed to Squid, where you only have like one level of folders. You don't have the ability to add any more subfolders, or there's even no folders, they just call it. Yeah, there's one folder and then there's notebooks. But here you can add an unlimited amount of folders, just as you can in like Incredible, which I will show you in a future video. Yeah, even in OneNote you can't add an unlimited amount of folders. So let's see. Whoops. So they've earned an awesome rating there. Timestamps, when it comes to timestamps, I'll give them an almost awesome rating because it would have been great with some inbuilt measuring of timestamps, but you only have this option to add your own timestamps. So if you go to notebook settings, you can add timestamps here, but you'll have to add them yourself. Let's see. So timestamps, almost awesome. Exporting files to PDF or JPEG. Let's try to see to what file formats we can export this. So here we export this to PDF, and we can like open it in a multitude of applications. Let's just open it with a Drive PDF viewer. And here it's completely readable, and if you zoom in, you can see that the text is a bit grainy, but I mean, it's readable. It's readable. Okay, so they export to PDF. Doesn't seem like you can export it in another format than PDF. You can, yeah, you can actually. You cannot export it as a JPEG, like you can in Squid or Incredible. So let's see. A great rating, but would have been great with the option to export the notes in a JPEG format, so that you can share it on WhatsApp or whatever, and syncing as you do on OneNote, unfortunately. Let's see. Backup works great. Like after having reviewed OneNote and seeing how it actually syncs real time and how you can use 2 devices at the same time. In Lecturenotes and in Squid, it's a bit more difficult, so if you use those apps, you better stick to just using it on one device. I've encountered files getting copied and like getting confused as to why I have 2 copies of my notes when using my phone. So, and cross-platform syncing, I'll give it an okay rating, because like you could use an emulator as BlueStacks, but you won't really have the app itself on Windows syncing with. And as you can see, it's really smooth. Let's see if we get the same problem with the notes being grainy on the... Whoops. How do we... Okay. On the phone. Oh. It's... Yeah. Let's see, for some reason I can't zoom in. So, fit height... No, what? Yeah, it's just because I didn't enable the weird setting here. It's called set hand mode, it says. So when you go in, you sort of have the same bit grainy. Handwriting is really not as optimized as it is on OneNote, or let's say Squid. So the phone experience is okay. Split screen and pop-up view. This is the app in pop-up view, so you can write something and then do this. Let's see. No, let's see how. No. So this is the app with paired up with Notion here. So this is the app in split screen mode with Notion on the right side. It works great. You can scroll, write something, scroll here. But like, it's not a deal breaker, but this has more to do with the Samsung OS than it has to do with Lecturenotes. But yeah, would have been nice with just the ability to begin writing right away. You sort of have to click on the half of the screen you're using. So the split screen works great, and this is the app in pop-up view. So just as in the two other apps I reviewed, you can just jot down whatever you want and easily change the opacity here if there's something you want to read in the background. Let's see, you can move it around. Right, it's really responsive, so let's make it full screen again. So split screen pop-up view works awesomely. Widget support, let's see. Let's see what widgets we have. Yeah, so we have these two widgets. Okay, so this is the app and DeX, really smooth. You can use the mouse pad to scroll up and down. And, well, I have no complaints. You can just jot down wherever you want. And let's try to write something. So, I think this is the only real. Okay, now let's try to write something now. And it is that, well, I want to just add a supplementary field. Oh yeah, okay. So add a supplementary field, and then you can write. Okay, so it works fine. You can add text wherever you want. So I'll give Lecturenotes and awesome rating on DeX experience. Typing text also works awesomely, as I've shown you. When it comes to pricing, it's great. It's like $8 or something like that for the full version. So I think that's good value. But like, as I've shown you, there's some parts of the app they really can improve, like the handwriting, and maybe adding a couple of more pen types. That would be great. So, if you have any feedback, leave a comment, and let me know what app you want me to do next. Incredible, Bamboo Paper, or Write. See you in the next one.